basically, the aim of this work is to prove the effect of anomalic magnetic field on appearance of breast cancer. The whole work and research is being done by Nikola Trifunovic, who is not a doctor, but he is a geophysics that spent all his career, basically 40 years, on measuring magnetic field on various places, from mines to airplanes. His co-author and team member is Dr. Berislava Vuleta, who is a physiatrist. Basically, the interest of the author for measuring for this team has come when several of his family members have been diagnosed and died from various types of cancers, including breast cancers. After talking to the doctors, he learned about two types of tumor, being benign and malign, and about different causes that cause the cancers. So doctors' conclusion were that, the three type of causes, two of them being cancerogous substances and viruses, are clear, and whole medicine is working on them. But the third type of factors and causes, meaning physical agents from environment, there was nothing that they could do, or there was very little that they could know. So the author has got the idea to start measuring Earth physical fields in houses where cancer diagnosed patients were living, and he was getting interesting results from measuring. So he started studying medical biological literature intensively. Spaces where people with a diagnosis were living and spending most of the time during sleep, in particular, had very high and not natural magnetic field. They had a very unnatural intensity of magnetic radiation. It is known that biosphere is characterized by electromagnetic field, gravitational field, and cosmic radiation, and that magnetic and electromagnetic forces rule in biosphere, having, let me change the slide, having the great influence upon living world, therefore upon human health too. Immediately, the work's aim is made to measure magnetic field in the bed where cancer diagnosed patient appeared. So basically, the aim of his work was to prove the effect of anomalic magnetic field to appearance of breast cancer, then to prove that anomalic magnetic field basically were forming or were resulting in body viscosity magnetism, then also to prove that body viscosity magnetism basically caused and resulted in enabling para-oncogen. How do you say? I'm not a doctor, so I'm translating, so I apologize for some problems with the special expressions. Oncogen mutation. Then also to prove that by stopping the patient exposure to anomalic magnetic field basically leads to recovery. And then also to somehow make a change that factor of patient being exposed to anomalic magnetic field is included as an official risk factor to appearance of breast cancer. And then also to prove the link, basically, that official medical diagnosis techniques, such as mammography, basically work on the same principles as the principle of body viscosity magnetism. So let me continue. And the work method that the author has used was measuring anomalic magnetic field in beds where breast cancer a diagnosed person was sleeping, and he found that electric magnetic field are unnatural and appeared from the present remnant and included magnetics, paramagnetics, and electromagnetic fields in the room called anomalic magnetic field. Anomalic magnetic field is measured by protonic magnetometer, which has 100 nanoteslas in terms of the measurement unit, punctuality. Anomalic magnetic field are located in the breast where, according to magnetization law, appears body viscosity, magnetization. Measurements in breast cancer diagnosed beds have lasted for several years. So meaning if your body is exposed for several years, especially the bed where you spend the time sleeping for a longer period of years, it is the cause of the cancer. It is found that there are no breast cancer appearing when the body is exposed to natural electromagnetic field. Conclusion is that every cancer cause is anomalic magnetic field from environment. In medical literature, it is said that cancer appear from 3 causes: cancerogenic substances, viruses, and physical agents from environment, and that official medical science the least knows about physical agents. So magnetic and electromagnetic measurements in living spaces where people live started and lasted for over 30 years. For all cancer types, measurements of magnetic and electromagnetic fields are performed by protonic magnetometer. It is immediately found that cancer appears in anomalic magnetic fields from environment. Thousands of various cancer types and various organs of diagnosed patients were spending spaces, and the spaces in which they were living were measured. After a large number of diagnosed people, it is concluded that there is no cancer appearing without person spending the time, longer period of time in the space which had anomalish magnetic field. This paper, this work, and the author, by studying medical literature, found out that cancer is a cell gone wild, dividing endlessly, as we all know, destroying an organ and even a whole body, and that medical science doesn't know what the promoter of a mother cell division into 2 baby cell is, what has actually prompted the division of mother cell in 2, and discovered that it is electromagnetic field, literally breathing, fully clear association. Anomalic magnetic field is firstly body viscosity magnetization on an organ. Basically, the anomalic magnetic field is basically making the organ and the tissue of the organ magnetized, the greater viscosity of magnetization of that organ or part of the organ. That causes increased tumor markers concentration, that is the presence of paramagnetic substances. Everything became clear. Every cancer cause is anomalic magnetic field and variable magnetic field from environment to be explained and proven. This paper shows the breast cancer origin and suggests that the best therapy is to move the patient to the natural electromagnetic field, stop the patient being exposed to anomalic magnetic field. To be noted, anomalic magnetic field measurements of all cancer types give the same conclusion as for the breast cancer. So the same analogy has been noticed in terms of the measuring, the magnetic field was noticed in the cases of other type of cancers. By studying of literature about cancer only confirms that every cancer originates from the environment which has been exposed to anomalic magnetic field, and the text and the research tries to prove it. Density of breast tissue measured by mammography is significantly increased because increased increased body viscosity magnetism according to magnetism law, increased tissue density of the tissue. So that's the link. Anomalic magnetic field causing increased magnetism of viscosity magnetism of the body organ, and that it increases the density of the tissue, which is the approach which is used by mammography. Radiopharmac scientography, another diagnosis mechanism, that is distribution in the breast and lymph nodes. Radiopharmac is a distinct paramagnetic, locates tissue, increased magnetic properties in breast. That's another diagnosis mechanism which basically locates the changes in the tissue, and also secondary on lymph nodes, because body viscosity magnetization properties have expanded. These two measurement types clearly indicated anomalic magnetic field from the environment causes increased breast density due to the body viscosity magnetization, and paramagnetic substances concentration was due to anomalic magnetic field in the breast space. Thus, conditions were created for breast cancer development, that is, for para-oncogen to mutate into oncogen. This happens very easily in a breast cell containing encoded sequences that build nucleotides, and these build genes, and even para-oncogen that has hydrogen easily breakable bonds. So structural formula easily mutates, that is, changes chemical bonds because gamma radiation present always exists. For example, in cosmic radiation and gamma quanta have stronger energy ejecting hydrogen bond from para-oncogen and creating body viscosity magnetism with high magnetic properties, rotates the structural formula of para-oncogen to mutate into oncogen. Body viscosity magnetization cells have increased magnetic properties. Oncogen starts accelerated division helped by increased magnetic properties, which are cells division promoter, and it is cells cancer which can, through lymph and blood, move around the body. The closest are lymph nodes, where anomalic magnetic field has increased magnetic properties to lymph nodes, representing breast cancer metastasis on lymph nodes. It should be emphasized here that metastasis cannot occur if body viscosity magnetization hasn't first formed under the influence on anomalic magnetic field from environment in some organ or part of organ, because these cells have increased magnetic properties, and primary tumor cells have also increased magnetic properties. So when they reach the created body viscosity magnetization and bloodstream or lymph, they are touched by magnetic forces and began to function as metastases. 3 groups of persons who have breast cancers were included in the research. The first group consisted of 30 of 30 patients aged from 21 to 65 whose health condition were partially followed in anomalic magnetic field. The second group consisted of 26 patients with metastasis aged from 22 to 64 years old. Health condition was followed of 20 patients in anomalic magnetic field. Their therapy was in accordance with official medical protocol. The third group was essentially followed for more than 5 years. It was a group of breast cancer with metastasis, 6 of them located to live in natural electromagnetic field. The therapy of 3 patients was according to the official medical protocol. To these patients were added 3 patients who lived in natural electromagnetic field and accepted official medical therapy, while the other 3 from natural electromagnetic field refused the official treatment protocol. Only one accepted local breast and underarm cancer metastasis on the lymph node surgery. All other therapy she refused. She was a specialist doctor at the Clinical Center of Serbia and accepted life in a natural electromagnetic field. So she opted only to move to the place with natural electromagnetic field after having the surgery, but no medical treatment. The 5th and 6th patients refused any medical therapy and accepted only to live in natural electromagnetic field. One patient treated by an oncologist was told to take breast surgery urgently and provided her with a place at Oncology Institute. She refused and left the hospital, accepting only to move to the place with natural electromagnetic field, which the author determined by his measuring. After 2 years, she came back to the doctor for a checkup, and doctor wonders, how is it possible that the cancer with metastasis has completely disappeared? When the doctor asked what she was doing, she showed her the name and surname of the paper's author. Another patient was, few years ago, patient of a doctor whose wife had breast cancer. The doctor remembered his former patient who refused any treatment for breast cancer with lymph nodes metastasis. The doctor provided oncologist to operate her, but she escaped from hospital. As she had this paper auto address, she called him and asked to make arrangement in her apartment, and he went there to do the measurement. After 3 years, she came for a checkup to her doctor, who determined that she was completely healthy after following the instruction to move her bed to the place with a natural magnetic field. The doctor's comment was that in his 30 years of practice, he had never had such an experience. He asked what was she doing, and she gave him again the author's address and data, saying what he had done in her apartment. Then the doctor finds the author because of his wife was also diagnosed with a cancer, and asking the author to measure magnetic field in his flat and make the arrangement what the author did. Interestingly, the doctor said that he didn't believe in author's explanation about benefits of sleeping in natural magnetic field, but adds that he had no other solution but to measure and to basically follow the author's instruction and to move his wife bed into this place, which was determined as a place with a natural magnetic field. What happened next? Not known, because I'm not in contact with this person. Studying the ethopathological literature, one comes to the conclusion that the official risk factors are only the consequence on anomalic magnetic field, and cancer cause is anomalic magnetic field from environment is popping up as the obvious result. One of the conclusions was that the cancer causes and research on cancer's causes that the author was doing for 30 years with a focus on measuring anomalic magnetic field and finding correlation between anomalic magnetic fields of space and the infected ill organ or part of the body. Thousands of cases are measured, and there are no degree, there is not a single case that somebody got a cancer if he was spending most of his time while sleeping or sitting in a natural magnetic field. Examples presented in this paper, there are only few of them, because author thinks that large number of examples presentation doesn't affect the quality of the work, but the measured cases number is absolutely exact and affects the conclusion. The second breast cancer diagnosed patients with metastasis results are various 20 patients that have passed away after 3 years because they continued living in anomalic magnetic field and continued being treated according to the official medical protocols. At the same time, 6 patients, the third group, that accepted to move and to live in natural electromagnetic field have lived for over 20 years and none has recidives, being absolutely healthy today. It has also been shown by mammography and scintigraphy that the breast cancer cause is anomalic magnetic field, so the best therapy is to place the ill persons to live and sleep in natural electromagnetic field. Official risk factors are the present electromagnetic fields effect and not breast cancer causes to be shown. Based on the third group of 6 patients with metastasis treatment, it can be started that recovery limit heightens very much because breast cancer diagnosed persons depend on the phase when it has been diagnosed, when the cancer has been diagnosed. What is official medical science opinion? Results presented in this paper clearly suggest that phases should not be taken into consideration. So it doesn't matter in which phase, in which stage of the cancer patient is, as well as palliative treatment, but all the cancer diagnosed patients should be treated, including surgery, to remove entire cancer mass, then to apply hypothermia, but only in a natural spaces with the natural electromagnetic fields. Again, all the diagnosed patients together with those planned for palliative treatments should be moved away from anomalic magnetic field. The hardest ones should be treated apart from classical methods, applying hypothermia, but only natural electromagnetic field, what will surely drastically reduce cancer cause mortality. The highest incidence, greater than 50% of breast cancer, are women older than 65, but a significant number are diagnosed with breast cancer younger than 35. The data indicated this limit is lowering, age limit is lowering every year. These findings suggest that breast cancer cause is only anomalic magnetic field from the environment being increasingly present in the living environment. Because phones, both fixed and mobile, earphones, computers, televisions, printers are increasingly used. Also houses with armature, armature is this iron structure, living spaces electrification causes of the greater anomalic magnetic field and variable of magnetic field generator. What nobody pays attention to. It's a real wonder that there are no more diseases given that we all live in these spaces. Most probably, it is because people move around a lot when magnetic fields and variable directions vectors enable body viscosity, magnetization, disappearance from organs or their parts located environmental anomalic magnetic field. So movement of the body, frequent movements, and stop being directly exposed from anomalic magnetic fields actually helps that not so many people are diagnosed with cancers. According to medical criteria, breast cancer depends on the stage at which the disease is detected. The results presented in these papers suggest that they must be set differently in relation to the stages of the disease when we know that the breast cancer cause is anomalic magnetic field from environment. That is, there are no restrictions concerning the disease stage, but it is repeated palliative patients must be treated too, what will drastically reduce cancer mortality number. So the author claims that irrespective of the stage of the cancer, stopping exposing the patient to anomalic magnetic field is helpful and could bring remarkable improvement to the status of the patient. Conclusion. You have it on the screen. Metastases appear only when there is a present body viscosity magnetization, that is where an anomalous magnetic field was active. Appearance of body viscosity magnetization as a basis of tumor, and that is caused by longer exposure of inactive body, meaning when we are, especially when we are sleeping, but also when we are sitting, to the effect of anomalic magnetic field, because anomalic magnetic field vector needs to target, in order to cause the damage to the body organ, they need to target the same spot in our body or a particular cell within our body for longer period of time. Then, as a result, this longer effect allow mutation of para-oncogen into oncogen, which are the causes of cancer. The author also claims that a frequent movement, be it walking, running, traveling in whatever way of transportation, from boat to the car and airplanes, changes vectors of magnetic field. What decreases, even if you spend your sleeping time in this place with an anomalic magnetic field, what caused increased viscosity of body magnetization. So it decreases that, which consequently decrease the possibility of tumor appearance. Anomalic magnetic field from environment basically cause body viscosity magnetization, which cause breast cancer, and moving the body to natural magnetic fields lead to recovery. So this is it. This is the major conclusion of the author. Maybe several more points about the author believes that the medical literature basically doesn't completely explain the causes of the factor. Risk factor is that female breast cancer is 100 times more frequent than in men, because women breast configuration allows faster cancer, because the anomalic magnetic field intensity decreases from radians to 4, because the breasts are bulging. Breast cancer increases with age. Telomeres with cell division are getting thinner as we age. Cell nuclei are gaining weaker magnetic properties, meaning that the whole body has less magnetic properties, as well as cells of the immune system and lower anomalic magnetic field intensity becomes more carcinogenic, so the immune system weakens in the body's defense. Genetics and family history. Genetic, in author's view, is irrelevant, but the habit of living in anomalic magnetic field is the main cause, because apartments and houses have the same anomalic magnetic field, and the users are equally endangered. So living in the same space where you know, sick parents lived is basically what is causing you to get the cancer. Also, another interesting point, the author believes that diabetes, that is a sugar, glucose, and smoking are real the factors of cancers. It is because both glucoses and tobacco smoke are paramagnetics, and they influence raising of blood magnetic properties that add up the anomalic magnetic field. So smoking and sugar, glucoses are increasing proneness of your body to the effect of anomalic magnetic field. So I would stop here for any question if you have any. The author is here and co-authors are here to answer any of your questions.
Thank you so much, Nikola, Trifunovic. That was really a well-attempted session from your end. So I request other fellow speakers have any questions you can ask now to Nikola.
Sorry, I didn't. Could you repeat, because our speakerphone wasn't allowed? Did you ask the other people if there was any question, or you asked something else?
No. I requested other participants and the speakers, if they have any questions, they can ask you now. That's what I said.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Oh, okay. Once again, thank you so much, Nikola, for joining us. With that, now we are moving on to the next session.
Can we have, the author is pointing, if only 2 minutes, can we get 1 or 2 minutes for the final close that the author has just pointed out now to me?
Yes.
The author believes that the cancer risk factors are misrepresented in literature, like radioactive radiation and sunbathing. He believes they are not real causes of cancer, and they are not carcinogenic. Radioactive elements are paramagnetics, and cancer development requires a long anomalic magnetic field action in peace, while these substances' use is short, so they have no time to make and to result in body viscosity magnetization, therefore cannot be causes of cancers. By sunbathing, body gets an elevated temperature, and sleeping in bed where anomalic magnetic field is present, the part of the body with a higher temperature gets a natural temperature, and the body thermomanant magnetization appearing only in anomalic magnetic field, meaning and resulting in stronger than body viscosity magnetization. So he believes and concludes that sunbathing is not the causes of the melanoma, but basically the exposure to anomalic magnetic field.
Yes.